Care Alliance will be playing a major role in staff training and retraining, which is essential for any organisation, any business, any policies on the way forward. Resources will be a problem. The doom and gloom people are already indicating that dignity will be the first casualty as pressures mount on resources to deliver services into the future with the demographic changes. I think the way forward, as we are experiencing in Sunderland, is to try and drive more and more resources to prevention, encouraging people to take more and more responsibility for their own health. We've had some good success along that line with smoke cessation, although the job isn't done yet. There are still people, and there will be people in this room who will sneak out for a cigarette later, I'm sure. But the smoking cessation drive has been successful to date, but the job isn't finished. Following on from that, we have to tackle obesity and alcohol abuse. One of the sad statistics I learned some time ago was that if we don't tackle childhood obesity, children born today will have a lower life expectation than the parents. That's a terrifying thought. We have to continue with the prevention line and encourage more and more people to use the universal services that we have and enjoy them, because the services are there for everybody. The future takes shape. As the future takes shape, the workforce development will be crucial and must continue to develop. As we strive to solve tomorrow's problems today, As we strive to solve tomorrow's problems today and maintaining standards, we must develop different ways of working. We will be governed, and our success on the way forward will be controlled predominantly on our ability to change to the circumstances as the work environment changes as well. I know that palliative care is part and parcel of the conference's focus, and I'll leave that to other speakers as they come on the stage. Thank you very much indeed.
Right, we're now going to turn to a double act, actually. This is the heading for this is a celebration of dignity, and it's a joint vision between health and social care. Bob Little, the Regional Development Manager for Skills for Care, whom I've known and worked with for a long time and has done a tremendous amount in the North East, and Andrew Harvey, who I've met more recently, but who we share many common interests with, who is the Regional Director of Skills for Health, have worked together on a number of issues, and just as I was saying earlier on, working together in all sorts of ways is so vital for the future of social care and health. So over to Bob and Andrew.
Well, it seems an awful long way to walk across the stage there with 500 people watching. But it's absolutely great to be here. I can at least say I've been on the main stage, at the stage, yeah? I've performed. What we're going to talk about today is kind of good life, good death. And we're going to concentrate on the end of life care and talk about some of the issues. And the next one. So the objectives of today is to tell you a little bit about government policy about end of life. Tell you about what we do in terms of the Sector Skills Council, because we don't train, but we actually help and support people in their training by setting some standards. Explain the role of the North East, and the North East is at the forefront of end-of-life care. And Andrew's going to talk about that. And I was sitting here at 9:05, thinking, I hope he's not stuck in the traffic, because I'll have to do the full talk, and he's the expert on the North East bit, and I'll begin to sweat there, and I'll think, oh, I was ever so pleased to see him. And then we want to ask you to talk, to take up the Dignity Challenge. There's no doubt about it, in the last 2 or 3 years, the government's kind of realised that end-of-life care has been quite disjointed. One of the ways of actually achieving dignity is a kind of joined-upness. And they've put a lot of resources quite recently, and there's been a government recommendations, about how we can actually improve dignity and how we can improve end-of-life care. One of the first things they've done is given the Primary Care Trust additional responsibility. With that, they've given additional money, and in this region, it's £750,000. They're also offering people a right of choice of a place to die. And lots of people like to die at home. And it's a mixed economy about the end of life, isn't it? People go into hospital, they come out of hospital. Nurses and doctors look after them, family looks after them, domiciliary care looks after them. And quite often, a lot of people have a kind of a service that's provided by two different services, and the important thing is for them to speak to one another. The important thing is for them to be trained highly, because it's no good having nurses trained highly in palliative care, when in fact 80% of the care happens in the community for people who are untrained at supporting people at the end of life. So they've actually recognised that, and they've put some money in towards that. And they're going to put, as I say, £750,000. And today we hope to tell you how we're going to get that, but it hasn't quite been decided, because some of that training will come to social care. Because at first it was thought they were going to train all the hospital staff really well, and now they're going to train people within the community. And also the last one was about making better provision for borrowing equipment, beds, wheelchairs, etc., within the home environment. Now, sector skills councils, what we do across health and social care, is we actually set the background towards qualifications, towards training. We don't actually train anyone. And we've issued a set of core competencies and core principles that you'll be able to find on our website. And we're looking towards, actually in the next year, when we have something called a QCF, and I'm sorry to use this as a qualification credit framework, it's about loosening up the qualifications, about offering lots of small, bite-sized training that workers can take up, and end-of-life care will be central to that. And the importance also is we need to work with you as employers. Now, just before I hand on to Andrew, in the North East we've done lots and lots and lots of work, and the work that we're currently doing in the North East will actually set the standards nationally. Can I hand you across to Andrew? Thanks.
Okay, Bob's already said that we're doing work here in the North East which will set standards which are going to inform national work. How this has come about is that we've got in the North East something called the North East Regional Skills Development Group. And this is a group where people, well, Bob and I, from our two sector skills councils, come together with employers from health and social care, and also people from awarding bodies. And we're working in the North East. We've developed a strategy for medication management, which was critical. And actually, it doesn't matter how good you are at everything else about dignity, if you get someone's medication wrong, and they're seriously ill as a result of it, then actually you're not really respecting them, their dignity, you're not treating them as an individual, and you're not doing the job properly. Similarly, we published earlier this